Hey Moon Children! This week's blog is a bit of a beauty blog. It's been a widely requested topic, so I thought I would share with you guys my hair story, how I grew my hair to be long and thick, and some of my favorite hair tips. So to start with, I want to share with you my hair story. When I was little, I had really long, thick, beautiful white hair, but I was actually teased in school for my hair. So as a teenager, I cut it without understanding that it was just jealousy, basically, that would make somebody do that to another person. So I succumbed to the pressure, cut my hair, started doing all kinds of crazy things with it. I was like a punk. I mean, every piercing, every hair color, you name it, I had it. And I think that kind of really ruined my hair. So my whole 20s, I was just, being a pop star with like really long hair extensions. And about 5 years ago, I went through a super traumatic time in my life. My hair started falling out, it got brittle. It was basically reflecting how I was feeling about myself inside. So I'm actually really happy to be able to share with you what I did to get it to this condition, because it did take a little bit of work. And let's just say most of that work was not external. But before I get into more concrete tips, I wanted to just talk about hair in general and like what I know of hair and what significance does hair play in different cultures. For example, American Indians who, have just like these amazing long hair. I heard this story of how they were, taken into captivity and their hair were cut off and they lost their psychic powers because like in their belief system, their hair is like antenna. That's why they never cut it. Their hair is like how they sense their information, which is beautiful. And I also have this amazing girlfriend who is a Kundalini yoga teacher. And she wears a turban, and she's like, oh yeah, she talks about the turban. And I'm like, I really love the look of the turban. It looks so dope. And she kind of like enlightened me actually about why she's wearing a turban. It's because she's trying to contain her energy. She's trying to protect her energy from like interacting with the space too much, from picking up stuff, from putting out stuff. So I felt that was really, really interesting as well. And I don't know if you've ever come across these people who don't let other people touch their hair. I used to think that was rude, and now I really don't anymore, because I do think hair kind of carries an interesting kind of power, like hair and nails, they kind of keep growing after you die, and it's a thing. So in these video blogs where they do the countdown and like the last one is the most important one, to keep the viewer hooked. I don't want to do it in this order. I thought I would just kind of start with the most important one. And you're gonna be like, Curly, for fuck's sake, like leave us alone. But the number one hair tip is mental health. So boring. I'm gonna make you do all the work again. But yeah, for real, you guys. Basically, as I said earlier, I was going through a really, really difficult time and I wasn't really loving myself, and it showed, So after I got serious about my self-care, after I got serious about eating right, working out, working on my mind, working on my thoughts, really working on that self-love, Oftentimes we just love other people and sometimes we love them so well, but we sometimes forget that we are that person too that deserves all that good stuff. So I started treating myself like royalty, and I started nourishing myself in like every sense of the way. And I think that is the number one reason why, I feel like my skin is glowing, my hair is just growing like crazy, it's healthy, I feel amazing. So we live in a society that is very, very focused on what things look like outwardly. So there isn't as much focus in the mainstream, same shit. There isn't so much focus on the mainstream on your mental health and your inner well-being. But really, as the saying goes, as within, so without. So as you actually nurture your inner world, not only things outside your reality, will start to shift, but also things in your appearance will start to shift. And it's been really interesting to kind of like watch myself transform as a human being, and just like looking back at some of the older videos and looking at some of the newer videos, and I'm like, wow, I actually look different. Like my body language is different. I use my hands differently. So it's a really, really interesting dance, and it really all starts inside. Tip number 2, and this is super tried and true. I can vouch for this. This is tested now. It's been tested on me. It's been tested on my girlfriends. And this, usually when people are like, oh my God, your hair, I'm just like, coconut oil. I said it. Coconut oil is like nature's bounty in a little ball of coconut that makes coconut water, coconut oil, like all this good. Coconut is just, it's the shit. So what I started doing, you know, is like, I'm living in the nature here. I'm not going anywhere. And I know that a lot of people right now also are kind of like, what are we calling it? Sheltered in place. So this is a really, because normally I say, oh, just put coconut oil in your hair and like leave it, you know, leave it for however long you can. Sometimes I leave it for a few days. I go to sauna with it several times, so it gets that heat, like, and it gets to like seep in. This stuff really works. I mean, I've tried everything, you know. I have Olaplex in my sauna right now, like number 2, the one they don't even sell it to regular folk. You have to like get it from a hairdresser friend. It's a great product, but coconut oil is still my favorite, and it's cheap. You just get a huge jar, organic. And I was trying to make this smooth, but you know what, fuck it. And I put it in a spray bottle, basically, because I was like, oh, how do I get my hair in a jar and everything? So yeah, spray bottle. I don't know what's in here, but it's the shit. So yeah, I put it on. To be honest, I probably spent like almost a week with it on, but like every chance I would get, I would put coconut oil. And after I started doing that, I started noticing like a huge change in my hair. My hair got like really thick, much healthier. And coconut oil, like in a sense, is a total miracle cure for a lot of things. I just watched this masterclass by Bobbi Brown, and she said that she puts coconut oil on the skin as like a super moisture thing. So now I also try to, like, every time I do a sauna, I just like lather it all over my skin too. So it's just like coconut oil everything, and in food. So it's amazing, this stuff. Tip number 3, and that is a bit of a magical trip, which I know you moon children will really appreciate. Basically, I started watching the moon phases to cut my hair, and there are a few different things. So the simple thing is, you know, you watch the moon, and if the moon is growing, you cut when the moon is growing because you want your hair to grow. When the moon is full, it's a good time to get that full hair. And when the moon is dying, I think it's called waning. Yeah, I always like mess the waning and waxing up. But waning, and especially if it's the last Thursday, this is an ancient Estonian like magical thing. If it's the last Thursday of a dying moon, that's when you shave, that's when you clean. Let's say you have like a haircut that you really, really like, that is like high maintenance, you don't want to go cut it, but you'd like for your hair to not grow the last Thursday of a moon phase. So how I've been cutting my hair, because I'm kind of like interested in the length department, so I've been cutting it during a growing moon in a water sign. So let's say the moon is growing in like Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. So because water, and I just recently found that out because I thought Earth was the most fertile element, but actually water is the most fertile element because water was there before Earth. So I've been cutting my hair like that, I think a few years, and I think after the first time I cut my hair, I generally cut my hair maybe like 2 times a year, maybe 3 times a year. And really just, you know, cutting those split ends, like not cutting very much, but mainly really just cutting to like utilize that moon magic. And how I follow the moon phases is I have this really dope app. It's called, I think, Deluxe Moon, and it shows you and like what the energies and everything are. So it's really, really fun. I'll also put below the video some dates for you guys this year, so you don't have to like go and calculate. You're welcome. Number 4, biotin. It's this vitamin that helps your hair and nails and everything grow. So I've been taking that. I don't know exactly like which one of these components has helped my hair grow like this. Maybe it's a combination of everything. I guess you just kind of have to try what works for you. But I studied more about biotin, and it's basically something that you can't really overdose on. So I'm taking strong biotin, and a lot of people swear by it. I've tried it, no harmful side effects. It seems to be doing good for my hair, so I do recommend that as well. Disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. And the last one, tip number 5, be gentle on your hair. You know, it's so funny because like as a teenager, my mom was trying to stop me from coloring my hair and whatnot, and I was always like, fuck yeah. And now I'm so gentle on my hair, like I can't really imagine doing the kinds of things I used to do to my hair. I color my hair still, maybe like a few times a year. My hair color is like pretty much this grayish blonde, so I just kind of like let it grow and let it do its thing and nurture it and pamper it and cut it and love it. And I don't use heat tools too often, so just kind of like let it dry naturally. I use argan oil to moisturize it after washing it, and just, you know. Okay, babies, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your own hair tips in the comments, your thoughts on my hair tips, all of that. I just love the feeling of this community and how much sharing there is and how much caring there is and all that good stuff. So keep that going. Integrity, love, unity.